So it's been a few months since Lecturing came out and you still aren't confident enough to play the game. The world's too big, the combat is faster than Souls games. I'm not a gamer, no! Then to help you prepare, how about you get a game that's also $60 on the PlayStation Store? DLC not included. Although I recommend playing Dark Souls 1 first, you can play Dark Souls 3 and still get a good time out of it. It's still gonna kick your ass though. FromSoft game difficult, who would have guessed? Dark Souls 3 will bust your balls in some ways more than Dark Souls 1, but hey, at least you can still peg the enemies. Let's fucking go! In this game, you'll go up against more tough bosses, like the tutorial boss, Skeleton with Drip, PTSD, Gamerback, tutorial boss but harder, and Dark Souls 1 tutorial boss. But hey, if you've played another one of these games, or if this is your first one, it's time for you to question why you do this, only to remember that you're a goddamn gamer, and you better let everyone know you are.
I beat Dark Souls 1 and 3!
First up, let's talk about the Firelink Shrine. The Firelink Shrine looks a bit different than it did in Dark Souls 1. You're gonna hear me compare this game to Dark Souls 1 a lot, and that's okay because the game likes to do it too. Overall, I recommend playing Dark Souls 1 before playing this game, but you don't have to. You'll just miss out on a lot of references and callbacks. Anyways, Elytra isn't the only game where you have a mating. At the Firelink Shrine, you have the Firekeeper, and she's the person you level up with. You can only level up with her and not just by sitting at bonfires like in Dark Souls 1. No, instead we have to go back to the Dark Ages of leveling up. Demon Soul. On top of the Firekeeper, there's a few other NPCs of note in this area. First off, you have the Shrine Handmaid, who will sell you different items. She starts off with a smaller inventory that eventually gets bigger. You can make her shop inventory bigger by giving her umbral ash you find around the world. These can be found while exploring the world, and in the base game there's a total of 10. After you're done talking to the hag, you can see your old friend Andre, who's still pounding the kinks out of those weapons. Andre can do a few things: upgrade your weapons, repair equipment, allot Estus, and reinforce Estus. You can allot your Estus to either heal your health or magic. If you aren't using magic, then you can just put that all towards health. To reinforce your Estus, you have to find Estus shards while exploring. Reinforcing your Estus gives you a permanent extra Estus, and there's a total of 11 to find. On top of this, you can also find undead bone shards around the world to buff the amount your Estus heals you. These work like Firekeeper souls in Dark Souls 1, so don't get confused as to why you don't find them and then spend half the game with the base healing like I did. There's a total of 10 you can find. The last NPC I want to talk about in Firelink is Ludlith of Corlin. He sits on his throne in Firelink, and after killing the angry tree, you can give him the transpose and kill him to get boss weapons. In order to get boss weapons, you'll need their soul from killing them, and you'll need to pay for it. Aside from these 4 NPCs, though, you don't really need to worry about the others that eventually show up. Patches is still here for some reason. Next, let's talk about your playstyle. If you've seen the last video, this is where I start to sound like a broken record. The earlier you find a weapon you like or want to get, the better. At the very least, find the type of weapon you want. Do you want katanas? Do you want a big bonk sword? Do you want to use magic like a puss? Find whatever it is you want and what works best for you. Once you find the weapon you want to aim for, it'll make it easier to level up what you think you'll need. Each weapon has its specific stats you need to fill in order to use them, so if you want big swords, start hitting the gym because you'll need that strength up. You should at least get the Grasscrest Shield and Estus Ring. The Estus Ring you can get by buying the tower key, then going to the bottom of the tower above Firelink Shrine. The Grasscrest Shield you get from the Road of Sacrifices. It's just sitting on a corpse near a crab area. On the topic of shields, parrying is different in this game. The timing feels off compared to Dark Souls 1, I wasn't able to figure it out, but I know that with enough practice, you sure can. Or just be like me and start gripping with 2 hands. But hey, bonfires in this game are closer to each other than they were in Dark Souls 1. But that doesn't mean you won't get to a point where you just run past all the enemies. If anything, I'd say I did that more in this game than I did in the past. You will eventually be annoyed fighting the same enemies over and over again, running to the boss room and wasting SS on enemies that don't matter. Running is always a valid option and should be used to its fullest extent. The last thing I want to mention is that despite what people say, if your playstyle involves magic and summons, don't worry about it. FromSoft games are difficult and you gotta use whatever works best for you. Don't let people gatekeep you from having fun in the game. Using magic to help you take down bosses and going about some jelly cooperation can be just as fun. So don't let the assholes who say you didn't beat the game legit put you down. But enough talking about that playstyle shit, now let's get to the real stuff. It's time to get good, kid. First off, this game is a bit faster than Dark Souls 1.
How was I supposed to react to that?
Excuse me?
How was I supposed to know I was supposed to dodge there?
Oh my fucking god. If you played Dark Souls 1, you might be wondering why I didn't mention Havel's Ring as part of the recommended equipment earlier. The equip loader in this game isn't as difficult to deal with in Dark Souls 1 as long as you upgrade your vitality. Having medium or even quick rolls are much easier to achieve in this game, which will make schmovin' a lot easier. For more of the big enemies like the Blobs of Death, you may want to consider running away from them, or if you're feeling really ballsy, I suppose, fight them and memorize their attack patterns. It's important to remember in this game to not get too attached to your souls. You're going to die a few times. That means losing some of the souls that you worked very hard on. You can get souls back pretty fast, so try not to mull over it too much. Some enemies will try to suck you off with leeches. If this ever happens, just pull out a torch and it'll burn them all away. There's a new status effect in this game called Frostbite. When you get colder than a billionaire's heart, you take 11% damage of your full health, and when the effect is wearing off, you have minus 15 stamina regen and take an extra 7% damage. Unlike in Dark Souls 1, you don't need to sit at a bonfire after lighting it to set it as your respawn point. Now you won't be making the mistake of having to walk back because you didn't interact with the bonfire twice, which is really nice for bosses. Speaking of, bosses in this game are very difficult. This is the part where you'll be dying the most. Bosses are difficult, and one that'll be easy for one of your friends might be harder for you. I don't want to talk about how long I was on Crystal Sage for some reason. The bosses here will take multiple tries, some might even take you multiple days. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Keep at it and you'll eventually get the patterns down and figure it all out. If you're having a tough time with an optional boss, step away from it and come back. If you need a little bit of extra health, use an Ember. Embers boost your health and you automatically get Embered after defeating a boss. These can be very useful and found littered about the world. Use them sparingly, mainly on the harder endgame bosses, and they'll be able to help you win some of those bosses that are really kicking your ass. So this game isn't as difficult to figure out where to go as Dark Souls 1. It's a lot more linear, but I'm sure you could still use the directions and tips on some bosses, right? Well, if that's the case, then I now present to you my tutorial. Holy shit, the statue is alive. Here's your first boss in the game. You'll want to stay close and personal even after he turns into goop and you'll be good. Go up the path, go to Firelink Shrine, talk to the maiden! Oh my god! It's a fucking maiden! Look, maiden! Actually, Ashen One, I'm a firekeeper. That's hot. Sit at the bonfire and warp to the high wall of Lothric. Bait the dragon out by going up the stairs, go down the stairs, sprint past the enemies, fight this guy, then go up the side route for a bonfire. Go down and drop down when the big guy has his back turned, go to the right, up the elevator, then sit at the first bonfire. Go down to the big door and uh-oh, you angered the dog. Again, stay close to them for the first phase. Once you get to the second phase, you are now fighting Sonic the Hedgehog. He screams before he dashes and afterwards you can just go up behind him and do some tasteful typing. Be careful of his minty breath so you don't get frostbite. If you get too close from attacking from behind, it'll still hit you. After taking the dog to the farm, go up to the church at the top of the stairs and talk to the old lady and get a flag. Go back down and then see, no, not like this, not again! And land into the undead settlement. After terrorizing the townsfolk and running past some justice ready from above, you'll come into this area with a big open area on the left. Go to the right, otherwise you'll be in a boss fight. Find the bonfire here, go back up to the open area and see a new very angry tree, this time with balls. Don't worry about the enemies and just focus on the tree. After some CBT, you'll fall down and have to hit their balls again, then their back balls, then their arm balls, then their thigh balls. Listen, there's lots of balls here. Careful for stomach fist and sprays and you should get through this thing pretty fast. Run across the bridge, say hi to the Onion Man, go down the elevator, run past this guy and sit at the bonfire. In the road sacrifice, just run past all the bird people, then sit at the next bonfire, run past the crabs and enter this open doorway. Go down the ladder, sit at the bonfire, and welcome to the poison swamp. In Fair and Keep, you gotta extinguish some flames, try not to lose your mind, and open up the door. Head up to the boss and wow, who killed the party here? Am I right, guys? Am I right? The gangbang here got interrupted by you, and even though most of them are tired, 2 of them really want you dead. You'll only deal with one at first, then a second will get up. Focus on the second one and try to get it down as fast as possible. Soon your friend who invited you to the orgy will get up and try to help you, but he goes down pretty fast. Just don't hit him or else he'll think you're into that and start attacking him. After you kill the main one, he gets up and starts his Demon Slayer arc and puts on his Rengoku cosplay. With flame breathing, all their hitboxes are now bigger and last a lot longer. If you're able to get behind them, you can peg them and do some extra damage. This is going to be your first real challenge of the game, so take your time with it. No Rengoku cosplay is perfect without a hole through their stomach though, so help them out with that and get the dub. Afterwards, set a bonfire and warp back to the Keep ruins. Run over to the other building in the area and welcome to the 3 Gimmick boss fights back to back. First up, we have the Crystal Sage. There's a few ways to get this Plague Doctor looking ass. Kill their clones or just hard focus them. Either works, but just try to find the original fast. Afterwards, go past the previously blocked area and go to the Cathedral of the Deep. After getting to the church, you'll see...
Do you have a moment to talk about art?
Sure?
God, I fucking love art so much, dude. You ever see that Mario 64 game?
Yeah.
I wish I could be like Mario. Jumping into paintings. He just like me for real.
Anyways.
Do you also want to be Christ paid, right?
Yeah, why not? Oh my god, help! Yeah, I don't really like it here. This must be one of those DLCs the kids are talking about these days, so just warp back and the old man is gone. He just gave me drugs and left. Well, good thing we won't be seeing him again. Go through the massive castle area and then fight the Deacons at the Deep. If you have Big Bonk Sword, crowd control in this fight is easy as hell. Fight the one glowing red until the flame jumps over to another one glowing red. Halfway through, it'll just stay on one guy. Focus on him and congrats, you killed another Deacon boss. Go back to the Abyss Watcher's bonfire and go down to the area that opened up after beating them. Welcome to the Bone Zone. This one has a few traps placed, so keep your guard up. Towards the beginning, you'll see a big staircase. Go down and you'll meet the Calcium Ball! Let me have your babies! This thing can't be stopped by killing the skeleton hiding in the hallway below that runs from you. Once it hits a wall after you kill the scary bone, it will shatter. Run through some caves and get to the boss room. All that's in here is a goblet. You probably shouldn't touch that. That seems like a bad idea. Why did you touch it? Welcome to Gimmick boss number 3, High Lord Wolnir. This boss fight is incredibly easy. Go to the outside of his arms, hit his drip, watch him fall into the abyss. The chalice will now become a cum chalice, absorbing the void, and now you can go into the Boreal Valley. Go down, kill the giant dog, and run out to the bonfire. Find yourself near some sewers and kill Ariandel. Then go into the area and see the gorgeous painting. Go up the stairs to some chests and experience PTSD. Open up the side path, then go into the boss fight with the Pontiff. Pontiff is an asshole in lore and in fight. Pontiff has a big flame sword and a little dagger. The flame sword attacks are mostly delayed while the dagger is instant. Most of this fight you'll have to swap between delayed rolls and rolling as fast as you see a charge up. For a 6-hit combo, the timing goes between delayed and instant dodging, so try not to panic roll. On his second phase, he summons a friend, himself. It does the same move he does and can be hit at the same time as hitting Pontiff. When they go up in the air for the fire attack, run backwards. Of course, you could just parry through this fight or use your shield if you want to. After beating Pontiff, you head into Orlando. Holy shit. Going to the side, you see what's left in an old friend, and no, you can't make me. Not again. You can't make me go through it. Not again. Alright, well, you go into what used to be Ornstein and Smell's boss room and see a big guy who eats people. While Aldrich shoots his bow, just hide behind a pillar while the arrows fly at you. When the great Skittles are flying around the room, just run and dodge. When he pops up after teleporting with fire, he's on phase 2. Now when he shoots out the arrows, run to the opposite side of the room and keep running. He's just generally more aggressive, so be aggressive as well, and you should be able to beat him easily. Afterwards, warp back to the area before the sewers and go down the stairs. Welcome to the Earthvale Dungeon, the worst dungeon in the game. Here you'll see gas that removes your health, cursed frogs, messed up babies, and lots of German references. Eventually, you'll find a way to the profane capital, say hi to some gargoyles, then go to the boss fight. I bet you thought we were done with the gimmick boss fights. Sorry, bucko, but if you try to fight Yhorm normally, you won't win. Instead, you have to find the storm ruler near where Yhorm sits, charge that baby, and kill him in 5 hits afterwards.
Hey, can you do me a solid?
Yeah, I'm a little busy at the moment.
Nah, it's cool. I need you to kill someone. I think you'll like it.
Please don't.
I'm warping you anyway.
After the old lady fucking dies giving you a bowl, put the bowl down and you'll see woman in armor, look at her, she dance her just by having a worse game back than 60% of League of Legends players is a difficult boss. Essentially you have to learn to dance with her. She has a lot of open time for you to just hit her in between her attacks. You'll have to find a good middle ground between beating the shit out of her and not being too greedy. Try to stay behind her. It is possible to stagger her if you do go up to her face and you'll do a critical strike. Once you get to the second phase, try to run so you don't get hit in her spins. Jump into the last one so you can go in for attack. Play this phase patiently, you can't get as many free hits on this one. Most of her attacks have follow-ups in this phase. Again, don't get greedy, take your time, but you should be able to beat her. After beating her, we're going to do 2 optional bosses. After the ladder, go to the left, then down the elevator, run past the enemies in the new poison swamp, and just go straight to the boss room.
Ah, so you finally found my hidden area.
I'm sorry, who are you?
You'll never take Ocelot from me. Whoever sent you can burn in hell.
Ocelot from Minecraft?
He's all that I have.
Oceiros is a guy who turned himself into a wannabe dragon after falling in love with Seeking Code's ideas. Make sure you stay close to him, preferably behind him. Whenever he does his gas attack, try to get some distance from him. As long as you do these things, phase 1 should be, dude, can you please shut the fuck up? Eventually, Oceiros will throw his child into the fucking pavement. Stay behind him as much as you can, and you'll avoid most of his attacks. After that, pick up an emote and go through the hidden path. I feel like I've been here before. Go to the boss fight at... Oh, I've fought this guy before. Don't worry, he's pretty easy. Ow! Oh! Fuck! Shit! Help! Champion Gundyr is difficult. This is a full-on duel between you two. Don't try to hit it from the back, as Gundyr has a foot fetish. Most of his attacks are delayed, so make sure you aren't panic rolling. Be patient and don't be greedy. His shoulder bashes come out fast, so make sure you learn what the wind-up looks like on those. He can be parried if that's the route you want to go down. Once you get to phase 2, essentially all his combos have doubled in length. This one will be tough, but just keep trying and you'll get it. Go to the Firelink Shrine and... Wow, this place is barren except for...
What's up, bitch?
What's going on here?
I don't know. Wanna buy some armor?
Yeah, sure. You can go through a hidden wall here in front of Firekeeper Ice with Firekeeper Ending if you want to grab him. Go back to the dancer bonfire and go up the ladder and forward. Go through Lothric Castle, find a side route to kill the dragons by hitting their toes. Now go into the boss fight. Oh, that's a nice bird. Wait, what's standing there? Is that... Motherfucker. The spirit of Ornstein has come back to haunt you, and now he's got a shield with a great axe. Don't let Ornstein's armor scare you, though. This boss fight is manageable as long as you don't interrupt his combos. Blocking him with the pillar is a solid idea, especially when you need to heal. When the birds start to fog on the side, listen for when they're charging up, or look at them to see when they're about to attack. Most attacks you can just run a little ways away to dodge it. They're not too much to deal with. After fighting the physical form of a Dark Souls 1 player's PTSD, head into the archives. The archives are... Oh my god, why are you back? Stop trying to hit me. Why are the books alive? I don't want to be here! After getting to the top of the area, go to the side and open up a shortcut. Afterwards, head into the boss fight and...
There's another one of them.
What's that mean, femboy?
What?
You're wearing a dress.
That's not what this... Brother, can you handle this?
I can't use my legs!
Lorian likes to teleport. For some attacks, you can somewhat figure out what he's going to do after teleporting, but others you kind of just have to guess. When he charges his attack from afar, just run to the side and dodge when he sends it out. He can't be staggered and have a strong attack used again. Staying behind Lorian is a smart idea, and after killing him...
Damn. She beat yo ass in the quote retweets. Wake the fuck up, samurai. We've got an ashen to burn.
Lothric will jump on Lorian's back and will revive him every time he dies. This boss fight ends once you kill Lothric. Getting behind them will allow you to hit them both. When phase 2 starts, just run away from the Skittles Lothric throws out. Once Lorian goes down, you can hit Lothric a few times before he revives Lorian. After they die, go back to Firelink Shrine and now you can do the final boss. But first, let's do some optional bosses. Warp back to the Cum Chalice and break the bridge you originally crossed. You can use it as a ladder or just fall like me. Go down, is that the Asylum Demon? Whatever, doesn't have a full boss bar, so it can't be it, I guess. Go down and look at the worm that reminds me of Solaire for some reason into the boss room and hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, what's up? Wait, I'm sorry, who is this? Oh right, the tutorial boss again! Amazing! Yup, they're back, and this time they don't have a garbage shit attack. At this point, you should be very over level for this boss, so just stay close to it and kick its ass. Afterwards, work back to the Ear-filled dungeon, find the dragon statue, and use the emote you got after Oceiros, and find yourself in the Archdragon Peak. First, you'll run into a giant enemy Wyvern. Now, you don't want to fight this guy head-on. Go up to the side and do a plunging attack. After all, it is the strongest attack in the game. After one-shotting the dragon wannabe, you get teleported. Again. Cool. Go through the area until you see a bell. Ignore it for now and go up to the side and see Havel. Oh my god, it's him! Dwayne is back, baby! Axe up the rock a few times and you'll get his weapon and shield. Now go back down and ring the bell. Walk on air and you'll see someone riding a dragon. The hardest part of this boss is the camera. Don't lock on, instead just try to move it around and get up close and personal with the dragon. When the guy on top swings at you, be aware most of his stuff is delayed and hard to see. Really, you just have to fight the camera here, get the dragon to stagger, and then kill it after that. Hey, wait a minute, this guy looks like Gwyn. Oh my god! Does lightning run in the family or something? Welcome to the Nameless King, Gwyn's forgotten child. He hits very hard. I've heard that quicker attacking weapons can help here, but I didn't follow that. Just do one attack at a time and be aware of his delays. Overall, you just have to learn his moves, lots of trial and error here. With that, we've done all the optional bosses and the main game bosses. Time to fight the final boss. Place the heads on their thrones and have the Firekeeper steal their fire for you to bathe in their dandruff. Welcome to the third Firelink Shrine we've seen so far. Go outside and if you end up in the Dread Keep, you accidentally went to the DLC, so warp back. Go up to the final boss area and, hi there, my name's the Soul of Cinder. A few fun facts about me: I enjoy long walks on the beach, sword fighting, wearing potato sack hats, and I'm the culmination
of multiple souls who kindled the fire.
Here, why don't we listen how a few of these fuckers got through the gauntlet?
I used magic.
I cheated.
I cried through the entire thing.
I used Big Block.
I used the hit video, The Best Guide to Dark Souls.
Nice! One thing we like to do together as a team is fight everyone, and right before we left to scream,
Begging time!
Okay. For the Soul of Cinder, you'll want to be aggressive and all in their personal space. If you can't dodge the curved sword and spear, then you'll just back up and keep your distance. During the magic phase, just stay close and don't panic. Run to the side when you see them use their Kamehameha, and if they have the glowing orbs above their head, try to stagger them down. Even if you stagger them, they can't be critical strikes, so don't even try. Once you get to the end of phase 1... Why do I hear plink plink plonk?
Hi there, my name is Gwyn and I love not dying. Some of my hobbies include being an asshole and overall being a nuisance. It's been a while since my last fight and I've decided to change it so that people can't parry me anymore. Pretty smart, I know.
That's right, phase 2 is just Gwyn again, but this time he actually uses his lightning. Much like before, you just gotta back up and attack him after his lunge attacks. This time you can't parry though, so it might take a little longer. When he does his 5-hit combo, just run away. This boss fight isn't that bad compared to what we've been through, so once again, hit him with the plink plink plonk and you'll be good. Just like before, you have to decide if you want to send the world into another age of fire or plunge it into darkness. But this time you can plunge it into darkness with the Firekeeper leaving only embers behind, if you gave her her eyes. The choice is yours. Nope, stop, we're not done yet. You have DLC to get through. What was it that old guy said?
You ever see that Mario 64 game?
Yeah, that guy. I guess we should probably deal with that. Go into the painting and see some smaller angry trees and some not very poggers dogs. Eventually go up to the cathedral and talk to the nun here. Get the fuck out. But the thing is, I don't want to, so we're not gonna. Go through the Crowtown until you run into the man with the deep voice. Kill him, go up the stairs, talk to the girl, then go back to the nun through the sewers. In the sewers, you'll need to spin a wheel, then—
I'm not the Fruit Loops. Where is Friede?
Right here. You know, I told you to leave. You had the option, but here we are.
Sister Friede's a bitch and very, very difficult. She can be staggered pretty easily if you have a big bonk sword. When she pulls back into her spin attack, I found that dodging back is the best way to deal with it. When she drags her scythe on the floor, wait a hot second before dodging. When she goes invisible, watch the smoke on the floor. You can tell if she dodges by jumping or to the side by which way it goes. Regardless, find her as soon as you can and go behind her so you can peg her. She can shoot out some ice at you, though the frostbite's very fast, so make sure you get out of it as soon as possible. Eventually you'll beat her ass, though.
You killed the Fruit Loop lady!
Watch Father Ariandel baby rage so hard, Friede gets back up, and now you have 2 people to kill. The best thing you can do in this phase is just keep them separate from each other and focus on the big guy. His attacks are slow, you can stagger him, get a critical strike in and hit him multiple times. Just don't get hit yourself, otherwise you'll die in 2 attacks. Sometimes Friede will go invisible and then have a bright light surround her. That means she's healing them and you need to stagger her. After killing him, they both go down and you just beat a difficult boss fight. Good job.
You took my Fruit Loops. Now you must pay.
What the fuck does that mean? Holy shit! Welcome to phase 3. Now Friede has Black Flame. This is just a harder phase 1 really. When she goes invisible, try to chase after her and stagger her before she can jump around. Don't get greedy and wait for your openings. Half the time you think a combo is over, it's not, so you'll have to get the timing down. When she spins at you, I recommend dodging it, otherwise she'll try to decapitate you. I recommend embering once you get to phase 3, as this boss fight is very difficult and will take many tries. Eventually, she'll finally fucking die and you get to leave this stupid fucking area. After touching the bonfire at the back of the room, you'll be transported to the second DLC. Run through the area, down to the poison swamp section, up the tree, get hit by angels that essentially used to one-shot, fall down a few times because Gael told you to, and get to this bonfire here. After falling down, you'll be in a double fight with the demon in pain and the demon from below. Their names imply how they like it in the bedroom. At first, the demon in pain will be aggressive, while the demon from below will do more range attacks trying to poison you. You can stagger both of them and get a critical strike, and eventually they'll swap what they're doing. This isn't too bad and you'll get the hang of it pretty fast. After killing them both, they'll change into the demon prince. Try to stay close to it, and eventually after a few hits, you can stagger it and get a critical strike. When it flies away, be careful of its laser it shoots out at you. The laser also exposes the path after it shoots it. However, you can get close to it when it does this. There's a few free hits and you can get during this attack. When it flies up and slams the ground, don't panic roll, otherwise you'll die from the impact as there is a delay to it. After killing it, go into the area from the original Firelink Shrine and stop grabbing me, please! Then land in the Ring City. Run through the city, go through the non-poison swamp, go through a prison, then come up nice and personal with a big dragon. You have to fight the dragon here as he's actually our next boss fight, even if he is optional. After watching him fall, go into the building, go through the elevator to the Friede spawn fire. After sitting there halfway through the elevator, jump off and go to the left, hit the statue without a weapon, and go down. Fall down the hole and you'll see Dark Eater Midir. Now there's 4 big tips for this boss fight. Number 1, you may want to go up to Midir and start fighting him. Don't. Wait after you fall for him to do his whole combo and have him combo to you. Number 2, unlike most bosses, you'll want to fight Midir from the front, not behind. His face is his weak point and the best place to dodge his attacks. Speaking of dodging attacks, number 3, dodge backwards when he attacks unless it's a lunge or fire. If he's clawing at you, dodging backwards is your best chance to avoid it. If he shoots fire, dodge to the side for the most part, same with lunges. Number 4, when he flies up into the air and shoots fire at you, run to the left. These are the biggest tips I can offer, however, I do have some more for specific attacks. When Midir shoots out his laser, run to the left and go towards him so you can attack him. Once you get to phase 2, it's just a slightly upgraded phase 1, but with magic. When he summons his purple skittles, just run and dodge to the side, otherwise this phase isn't too different compared to phase 1. Hopefully you'll stagger him, take out a large chunk of his health, and down goes the blind dragon. After beating Midir, go past the Gwyn statue and into the building where you'll be hit with this guy talking. He talks for a while, you can just kill him while you wait, I guess. Eventually you'll be invaded by someone. That's the boss fight, you get invaded by someone. I can't really give tips on this one because it's just a player, so good luck, I guess. Also, if you die, that means you gotta listen to this guy talk again.
This fight sucks.
Anyways, go to the Angel's Egg ripoff and, oh no, our egg. It's broken. Oh well, try-finger butthole, am I right, gamers? Go out to the barren wasteland and see a guy crawling to escape something. Go down the path and see.
Please help! The Wii Shop Warrior's coming! Super Mario, RPG, Sonic the Hedgehog, Donkey Kong 3.
You good, bro?
Didn't I banish you to a painting like a million years ago?
What? That was like last week.
Time skip. Like Ocarina of Time.
Ah, gotcha.
Catch.
Welcome to the Artorias boss fight of this game, except in my opinion, Gael is cooler. The old man fucking sprints around the field on all fours, doing laps around you, doped up on methamphetamine. He jumps into the air and dives at you, then does a 5-hit combo with different speeds on like half the attacks. God, he's so cool. Then a third of the way he goes,
Your Wii Shop credits. Hand them over. My lady needs to play F-Zero from the Super Nintendo.
welcome to Phase 2. In Phase 2, Gael sends out his Destructo Disc that you'll need to watch out for as they come back. On top of this, his attacks are now followed up by his cape hitting you, so you'll need to dodge that at the last second unless you really want to get hit by it. Also, this Guts wannabe will sometimes pull out his crossbow that you have to dodge by running to the side. In case you couldn't tell, this is my favorite Dark Souls boss, and guess what? Time for Phase 3! When starting Phase 3, Gael will shoot out his flaming skulls at you that you have to run to the side to avoid and then dodge as he dives at you. Careful for the lightning after that, though. If he wraps himself in his cloak, then he's gonna spin attack, jump up, summon the fire skulls again, then dive at you. Miyazaki, please calm down with the new wolf, then please. The soul of Cinder can kiss my ass. This is the true final boss of Dark Souls 3, and the duel between you two certainly proves it.
You really think you can super smash me, bro?
Yes, using my Dark Souls 3, the Fire Fades edition. After getting the blood of the Dark Soul, go back to the painting world and up the ladder of the cathedral, where you'll find the little girl making a new painted world. Give her the blood of the Dark Soul, and you can have her name it after you. Congrats, you've truly beaten Dark Souls 3. Go back downstairs and warp? I can't sit down. Oh, I'm getting invaded. Oh shit, is that Squidward? The true final boss of the game, Squidward. Alright, all you gotta do here is... fuck!
Oh, she flies through the proud